Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video we're going to start collecting Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dweghom. Now, we're going to look at their one-player starter set box, and we're going to take a look at the contents inside the box, what we can build these units as, and how they work on the tabletop. We'll then take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this initial purchase, before finally finishing off the video with a little sample 1000 point army list for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Dweghom force for Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings. So with all of that said, to begin with, we get a Dweghom. Now, the Dweghom is a heavy infantry character. He has a cleave 1 with 5 attacks and 5 wounds and a clash of 4, so a pretty solid warrior all round. Now, he's got the supremacy ability in the presence of Minimancers, where for the duration of the battle, all command stands in this army add +1 to their attacks characteristics. The supremacy ability is always considered to be active. So this is just pretty nice. +1 attack to a bunch of stands, and all command stands in the force is really nice. Now, you've then got some units in the box set, and you've got a few options on how you build them. The first of these, you get 6 stands of Hold Warriors or Hold Ballistae. Now, you want to build at least 3 of each, but you could certainly build 6 of the same stand as you want in either 2 units of 3 or 1 large unit of 6 if that's what you wish to do. Now, the difference here, first of all, the Hold Ballistae are a light infantry unit and they're a ranged unit. They have barrage 3 and 18-inch range with armor piercing, which is pretty solid. Now, they've got volley 2, so nothing too great there. They are, your basic shooters for the force, but they do have 5 wounds per stand, which is nice. Now, their big thing is they've actually got shields as well, which is really cool. This will give them, a defense of 3 fighting in the front arc, which means even if your opponent can get into your Hold Ballistae's line, they can be pretty good at holding said line. Now, the other unit is the Hold Warriors. They are your basic fighting troops, a medium infantry unit with shields, so you've got defense 3 in that front arc, 5 wounds per stand, clash 2, 4 attacks per stand as well. These are just, a basic infantry line unit, 120 points for 3 stands is going to serve you really well. The other 6 stands we get in this box set are the Dragonslayer and Hold Thanes, and much the same as the others, you want at least 3 stands of each. As always with Conquest, this is the minimum amount of stands in most units, but you also want to have potentially 6 stands of one or the other if you wish. Now, Dragon Slayers are a heavy infantry unit. They have Cleave 3 and Harden 2. Harden will allow you to ignore things like Cleave, Brutal Impact, Armor Piercing by the amount of your Harden, so it's sort of the direct counter to Cleave, which reduces your defense value. And then you've got Fiend Hunter as well, where they can reroll all failed hits against Monster and Brute regiments, which is really nice. You don't generally have a lot of Monsters and Brutes in a Dweghom force. There are some, but there's not a lot. So having something that can actually take them on is really cool. Now, the other unit option you can build is the Hold Thanes. They're an infantry heavy unit as well. Now, they are pretty defensively good. They've got defense 3 with hardened and shields for that front arc, +1 defense. So it could be defense 4 with hardened 1. 5 wounds per stand, 4 attacks, and a clash of 3 with cleave 1 as well. So they've got a nice little bit of forward punch as well, unlike, say, your Hold Warriors who are defense all the time. Also, we would like to thank Parabellum for sponsoring the channel with Conquest, the Last Argument of Kings and Conquest First Blood. If you'd like to help the channel, you can do so by supporting us by going and using our affiliate code to get 10% off your orders on the Parabellum e-store. The code here on the screen will get you the said discount, CFGCONQ5. Go and get yourself 10% off and help the channel continue to make more and more Conquest content. Now, if we're looking at where to go next, we certainly want to start to look potentially at another hero to lead a second warband at 1,000 points. So for me, the other hero I've gone for is the Ardent Kerouac. I've probably butchered so many of the names in this video, but this is a Priest 5, and he's got a couple of really cool abilities. First of all, Dismay is a spell that requires a number of successes equal to the lowest unmodified resolve value in the target regiment. Target regiment becomes broken should the target regiment have no resolve value, then 2 successes are required for the spell to succeed. The spell has no effect on enemy regiments that are already broken, but, something to be able to break your enemy's regiments just out of nowhere is nice. Resolve is pretty much the opposite, where you can target a friendly regiment and it will lose its broken status, and if it has used a rally action, and then the target regiment does not count as being activated as a result of this spell, so you can, bring units back into the fold. Now, his supremacy ability, Righteous Annihilation, is really fun. First of all, he's going to give you the ability to increase your march distance of all friendly regiments by 1 during their first march action each round. You're not a fast army with Dweghom. You are, still dwarves-ish. So you're not the fastest army in the game. You don't have a lot of cavalry. You don't have a lot of fast-moving pieces. So anything can give you movement benefits, I think, is really useful. And this supremacy ability is always considered to be active, which is nice. But in addition, once per battle, the Ardent Kerwach can activate this supremacy ability to allow all friendly command stands to add +2 to their attacks until the end of the round as well. So, you've got +1 move all the time, but you can also get some bonus extra attacks to those command stands. Now, if we're looking at other units, another good shooting unit that's actually going to provide some more heavier firepower is the Fireforged. Barrage 4, range 14 inch, and like the whole Ballista, they do have shields for a ranged unit, which will actually give them defense 4 in their front arc, which is insanely good for a ranged unit. They have, 5 wounds, 3 attacks per stand, and clash 2, and volley 2, but, it's really in those Barrage 4, 14 inch range, armor piercing 2 shots, and just pack out so much heat at range. If we look at the other unit that's a little bit flamey, is the Flame Berserkers. These are a much more combat-orientated unit. Now, what Flame Berserkers are going to bring, they're a light infantry unit, so something that's not too awfully common in the Dweghom. It's a combat-focused light infantry. They have 6 attacks per stand with 5 wounds and a defense of 3. They also have Aura of Death 1. When an enemy regiment is in contact with a stand with a special rule, that regiment will suffer hits for each stand with the special rule it is in contact with. These hits are resolved at the beginning of the draw command card step, after the active player has declared which regiment the command card will activate, but before resolving any draw events, etc. So, they can also bring some extra sort of power. Now, lastly, something interesting that the Ardent Kerwach will unlock as a mainstay unit is Wardens for you. Wardens are a medium infantry unit available to the Dweghom. They've got Cleave 1. They also have Devout, which is really cool, where when a regiment with a special rule is targeted by a priest spellcasting action, one failed spellcasting die is converted to a success. And if the regiment has a character stand attached to it with this rule, then the regiment also counts as having the Devout rule, as long as the character stand is alive. They've got Fearless in there as well. 6 attacks per stand, 5 wounds, clash 3, defense 3. A nice, solid unit to bring alongside your Ardent Kerwach. And so this is the sample army we've put together here. We've got our Hold Rech, which will be our warlord. He's going to lead the force, but his big thing is we're going to choose the Ardent Creed for him. This is just going to, let us do a little bit of extra fighting with the force. Now, his Warman is going to contain the Hold Ballista, Dragon Slayers, Fireforged, which will be another box that we've added, and Hold Thanes as well. And then the other thing we've added to this force is the Ardent Kerwach, who's going to be in those Hold Warriors with a standard barrier in them. This is, a pretty solid Dweghom force. You've got 2 decent shooting units, but Fireforged can still hit it out in combat. I think it can still help hold your line, your center of your line as well with the Hold Ballista. Thanes, a nice offensive piece along with those warriors in there to provide you with, a nice solid fighting core. And the Dragon Slayers can help deal with enemy big targets like brutes and monsters. You've got, all the pieces you have. There's not a lot of upgrades on any of the pieces in here, but you do have all the pieces you need to make a Dweghom force work. If you've got some thoughts and some ideas, if you've been playing with Dweghom in Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what you would do with this box set, what your favourite units have been, what your favourite combos have been for the army. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and chat more with our wonderful little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also, linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon or YouTube members, or by going and grabbing yourself some channel merch, either by Teespring or by Ko-fi. Now, if you'd like to join any of those, once again, all down in the video's description, but as a special thank you, we'd like to give a shout out to all our Patreon and YouTube members. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising 8, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cader, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Conomos, Colorblind Magic, and our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty Stabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Wire, James South, and James Tillman. Lastly, a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing channel artwork, and to everyone who helps by coming on the channel, whether to play games, or to those who run our Discord server as the mods, or just make it a general lovely place to be. Thank you all so much for watching once again. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.